So, it is 3 a.m. in Mumbai, and I'm rummaging around in the vegetable bin of my mother's fridge for a tomato. I've just come in from the US to look in on her, something I've been doing more often ever since my father passed. And she's going to cook me the best antidote to jet lag, one of her wonderful, delicious tomato omelets. But my hand closes around something that's not a tomato. It's too hard to be a fruit. I pull it out and I'm dumbfounded. In my hand, still a little juicy, are my mother's dentures. You, right? Now, I'm an only child, so I've been very close to my mother all along, but I never expected to be this close. I'm thinking that a parent's teeth are best appreciated in their mouth, not in your hand. What are they doing there? Could she have coughed and they fell out and she didn't notice because they landed so softly in the cilantro? Or could she be chilling them? To get that perfect extra degree of coldness as she slowly draws the iced tea past them. You know, like chilling a beer mug? Or could they have come alive suddenly, like Chucky, and made it clickety-clack across the floor, jumped into the bin, and were waiting to snap my finger off? I wonder what Freud would have to say about that. But what to do with that? I can't very well wait till she's not looking and then stealthily slip them back into her mouth. Luckily, she sees them, picks them up, and pops them in herself. I hide them in the fridge so that the neighbors don't steal them. Now, she's been complaining a lot about the neighbors recently, and in fact, that's one of my main reasons for coming. Ever since my father passed, they have been trying to get her rent control place. She's told me how they sneak in to harass her, pilfer money, rearrange her possessions. What I don't know is how they get in, but now she explains. Oh, they don't come in themselves. They send their cat. Okay, she's pulling my leg, and we love doing that, so I laugh. But then she starts talking about having seen the cat carry off currency notes and dentures and keys, and I realize she's serious. The cat can smell keys, tells me. That's how it finds them. I didn't believe it myself at first. Okay, the omelet comes, so I eat it, swallow the piece of tomato, trying not to think of the dentures they were just nestling against. Is that why they're so extra juicy? Suddenly she says, hurry up, the neighbors are waiting. For what? It's so that they can gas her to sleep like they do every night. It's no use resisting, she tells me, because they gas the entire street. But you get a good night's sleep so it doesn't fall back. She starts suddenly raging against all the dirt they've left on the floor, here and there and everywhere, despite my trying to remind her that she's never been a very good housekeeper. By now I'm feeling a little chilled almost at her behavior. So I ask her if we can turn the fan down a little, and she shakes her head. No, son. The neighbors control that as well. So, how has my mother turned so loony? I mean, I've noticed that she's been distressed, some calls, which I make every morning, but I always thought that was to adjust to life without my dad. She's always been such a pillar of strength in my life. How could she have deteriorated so much in the 6 months since I last saw her? Now, I'm pretty devastated by now, but as some of you know, I'm a mathematician, and some sort of professional curiosity gets aroused by the logical deductions she's making. I show her that I can indeed turn the fan down, and she says, that's just because the neighbors are letting you, since it's your first night here. I ask her how the neighbors can afford to gas the entire street. And she says, oh, they're getting a kickback from the gas company to test out their new products. Now this is 2004, well before conspiracy theories became as fashionable as they are now. So clearly my mommy is well ahead of her times. And the air conditioner, she says suddenly, look how they've stuffed it under my bed. You know what it's for? To keep that stupid cat cool while it's doing their errands. Mommy, there is no cat. Oh really? Who's stealing my keys then? You are misplacing them. You can't blame the cat. Oh, I know the cat is innocent. It's the neighbors I blame. They've ruined the life of that poor creature. I feel so sorry for it. Heaven knows whose life they're going to ruin next. And God help me, but the cat shows up the next night. Slinking in from the balcony. By now I don't know what's real and what isn't. I try shooing it away by flailing my arms silently so as not to wake my mother. The cat looks at me with a bored expression, as if to call my bluff. My mother awakens anyway, just as the cat is sauntering past unhurriedly back to the balcony. See, my mother says. She triumphantly holds up the keys from under her pillow where she had hidden them. This is what the cat was after. The next morning, I try to take her to a doctor, but she refuses, saying that it was all in my head. I only fell sick after you got here. Luckily, I managed to drag her to an old school friend who's now a neurosurgeon. He says he suspects it's dementia. He does several tests and gives her a bunch of medicines. Medicines that she refuses to take. You're only doing all this to show everyone else what a good son you are. I managed to cajole her into taking the pills. She makes funny, grimacing faces as she swallows the larger capsules, the same type that she used to make while encouraging me to take my daily tonic when I was a kid. I make a game of everything. We sit side by side on the bed and make cute little yellow packets for her morning pills and blue packets for her evening pills. She slowly starts to get better. My partner in the US writes down the name of every single medicine so that he can ask the doctor what is needed when I start going crazy. I realized that I've reached a new juncture in my life with my mother, where our roles are reversed, and now she's going to be the child, and I'm going to be the parent. I can see in her eyes that she senses it as well, and is as terrified as I am. We can both tell that it's going to be a long road ahead of us, a new journey that we're really starting. But a little bit of progress comes when I manage to convince her to put her dentures in the jar in which they came and then hide them in the fridge. I still get a shock each time I open the door and see them grinning at me from their shelf. But at least they aren't gallivanting around freely in the bin as they were before. And best of all, her omelets, as toothsome as ever, are safe to eat again. Thank